This video is for those of you that are looking to develop the strength in your wall handstand push-up and eventually get the confidence to do freestanding handstand push-ups. We're going to be covering the 3 best exercises to progress the quickest and safest. Hey guys, Daniel Vadnal here for Fitness FAQs. The first exercise that I want to talk about is the eccentric handstand push-up using a wall. I really like using eccentrics to build strength in reverse. It's a really quick and safe way for us to build our overhead pressing strength. Now I know, especially online, there's a lot of debate when it comes to back to wall versus chest to wall handstand push-ups, and I'm going to talk about the application specifically to eccentrics. As this video is aimed at people that are either beginners to intermediates when it comes to handstand push-ups, I'm going to be covering the back to wall handstand push-up eccentric. The reason why I like to use this is because the chest to wall version is often too hard for people to jump straight into. They literally don't have the strength to do this specific movement. Here comes in the back to wall handstand push-up eccentric. It's a good one because most people can go into it and then build strength in reverse to start with this exercise. I understand this exercise isn't perfect and we should identify that. The reason for this is because when you're doing the back to wall version, you're going straight up and down. The handstand push-up, especially the freestanding handstand push-up, isn't done in this fashion at all. If you watch people doing handstand push-ups, it's more of an oblique angle. You need to go forward and then backwards. It's not straight up and down. With that being said, I think that the strength gains and the size gains that you get from doing the back to wall eccentric will be good to transfer to your training later on when you actually go and do the specific motion. I think general base building with the back to wall version is going to be awesome for beginners and intermediates. The other pro when it comes to the back to wall version is that you can progress faster. You can get in more practice by doing this variation compared to the chest to wall version. This is for most people. So if you're doing this, you can do multiple reps of the eccentric and you can also do it safely. That's the big advantage of this specific version. You can just let your head hit the ground, come out of it safely, and then repeat for reps. I recommend doing up to 3 to 5 reps for multiple sets. With the back to wall version, it's safe, you can just come out of it nicely, and that means you can really push yourself to fatigue and get some good strength adaptations from your training. Now with the back to wall handstand push-up, lower back and pelvis position is absolutely critical. Like we said earlier, the body wants to arch. It wants to relax and fall into this position because it makes it easier for the shoulders. Your job is to do a posterior pelvic tilt and keep your core engaged. That way, your shoulders are doing the work and you'll actually get greater strength gains with this form. Alright guys, let's talk about the form for the pike push-up. I want you to begin in a push-up position and then walk your feet as close as you can towards your hands. You should now be on your tippy toes and you should be focusing on getting your hips over your shoulders. You won't be able to do this, but it's the intention to do this which will put you in a good position to do the exercise. Now what you want to do is lower down, trying to get your head further forward of your hands, really focusing on that forward lean, and then you pretty much just reverse the motion, trying to really open up your shoulders, elevate your shoulders at the top, pretend you're at the top of a handstand hold, and then you just reverse the motion again and repeat for reps. The absolutely crucial point for doing this exercise properly and getting the quickest gains you can from the movement is the forward lean. You should really try and get that head as far forward of your hands as you can. This is going to further load the shoulders, increase the specific strength that you need in the specific range of motion for handstand push-ups, and it's the best replication of the handstand push-up that you can do in a closed kinetic chain push-up fashion with your body weight only. As you can see, when I'm leaning forward, your elbow should be stacked vertically over your wrist joint. That's when you know you've correctly loaded this movement. Now, of course, the pike push-up, awesome exercise, gives us a lot, but if it's done wrong, you're just wasting your time and not getting the best results you can. The error that I see comes down to a lack of strength and a lack of understanding of the movement pattern. This happens when people keep their head between their hands. This lack of forward lean won't translate to the strength needed in a handstand push-up. You can also see what happens and the effect this has on the elbow position in relation to the wrist joint. The elbow is actually posterior or behind the wrist. This is a telltale sign that the person doesn't have the strength or the understanding of the mechanics needed in this movement. Make sure you check yourself and make sure you correct it with a forward lean. As I said before, if you don't set up correctly with this exercise, you're much more likely to get your form wrong. This example here shows not bringing the feet close enough towards the hands and the effect that it has on the whole form. You can see in this example, I'm leaning far enough forward, but the mechanics of the movement are changed. I've got a closed shoulder angle, which doesn't translate to the handstand push-up, and I'm also shifting my weight backwards. It's a lot more tempting when you're not walked in as far to keep your weight on your feet. This won't get you strong. This isn't the best way to go about it. How do you progress it? By elevating the feet. When setting up for this one, put your feet on the elevated surface. Then I'd recommend walking your hands as close as possible towards your feet, trying to get in an L shape with the intention of your hips being stacked over your shoulders. Then you just replicate the same mechanics that we discussed before: full range of motion, open shoulders, forward lean. The difficulty of this exercise is based on how high your feet are placed. So to start out with, you only really need to elevate your feet just a little bit to feel the increased demand of the exercise. As you get stronger, elevate your feet much higher, and when you're in this L shape, it pretty much feels like you're doing handstand push-ups. The mechanics are the same, but you're just offloading a little bit of your weight with your legs being supported. There's a few reasons why I'd recommend the pike push-up isometric when you're trying to build your handstand endurance. The first is it's really easy to maintain that lumbo-pelvic position. This way we're training good habits, but at the same time we're building our handstand endurance. I find with the back-to-wall handstand especially, people, especially when they get tired, get fatigued, and they fall into bad habits. They arch the back, they close their shoulders. Not with this exercise. I find it's really easy to focus on shoulder elevation, keeping the shoulders open, and keeping that L shape isn't too hard. So the lower back, pelvis are in check, you've got that posterior pelvic tilt, and it feels like your shoulders are doing all the work, which they are. That's the video there, guys. If you enjoyed this video or learnt something new, show your boy some love, show your boy some support, drop a thumbs up on this video. And if you're someone who's working on their handstand push-ups, how many can you do? Drop me a comment below and let me know if they're wall supported or freestanding. Lastly, if you guys want to learn how to build muscle and master your body weight, go to fitnessfaqs.tv and sign up for my calisthenics programs. I'll see you guys next week on Fitness FAQs.